Captain Maya Trent stood at the observation deck of Aurora Station, watching the endless dance of starships arriving and departing from the galaxy's most prestigious interstellar hub. The year 2375 had brought humanity to heights unimaginable just a century ago. Yet here she was about to face what might be the most challenging diplomatic mission of her career. The Aurora Station stretched across several kilometers, its crystalline spires and metallic corridors housing representatives from over 40 different species. As Earth Alliance's chief liaison officer, Maya had spent the better part of 3 years learning the intricate protocols, biological requirements, and cultural sensitivities of dozens of alien civilizations. Nothing, however, had prepared her for the current crisis. "Captain Trent," a synthesized voice called from behind her. Maya turned to see Ambassador Cortal, the Tavarian representative, approaching with his characteristic measured gait. The Tavarians were silicon-based life forms, their bodies resembling living sculptures of polished obsidian. "I trust you have reviewed the preliminary reports regarding the upcoming conference." Maya nodded, though her expression remained troubled. "I have, Ambassador. And I have to say I'm concerned about the misinformation that seems to be spreading about human physiology." Cortal's optical sensors dimmed slightly, a sign of what Maya had learned to interpret as thoughtfulness among his species. "The rumors are disturbing. Several delegations have expressed serious concerns about human participation in the conference. They believe your species is too fragile for direct contact with other life forms." Fragile. Maya almost laughed, but the gravity of the situation prevented any humor from surfacing. "Ambassador, with respect, humans have survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and the vacuum of space. We've colonized hostile worlds and thrived in environments that would kill most other species. How exactly are we considered fragile?" "It is the water, Captain," Cortal replied, his voice carrying what might have been embarrassment. "The reports suggest that even minimal contact with H2O would dissolve human tissue. Many delegations are terrified that any interaction with humans could result in accidental death." Maya stared at the Tavarian diplomat, her mind racing to process the absurdity of the statement. Water. They think water will dissolve us. Indeed. The Silvark delegation has been particularly vocal about this concern. They have demanded that all humans be isolated in protective suits during the conference, and some are calling for your species to be excluded entirely. The weight of the situation began to settle on Maya's shoulders. The upcoming Galactic Cooperation Conference was meant to establish new trade agreements, scientific partnerships, and cultural exchanges that could benefit all member species for generations. If humanity was excluded or relegated to observer status based on false information about their biology, it could set back Earth's integration into the galactic community by decades. "Ambassador, I need to speak with Dr. Elise Hawk immediately." Maya said, her mind already formulating a plan. "And I'll need access to the scientific vessel Aegis for a demonstration." Cortal's optical sensors flickered rapidly, a sign of confusion. "A demonstration, Captain, surely you're not considering." "I'm considering doing whatever it takes to ensure that truth prevails over ignorance," Maya replied firmly. "If the delegations want to see how humans interact with water, then that's exactly what they'll get." 2 hours later, Maya found herself in the biolaboratory, aboard the Aegis, a state-of-the-art research vessel, docked at Aurora Station. Dr. Elise Hawk, Earth Alliance's leading xenobiologist, was frantically pulling up holographic displays of human cellular structure and biochemistry. "This is absolutely fascinating from a sociological perspective," Dr. Hawk said, her eyes bright with scientific curiosity, even as she worked to address the crisis. "The misinformation appears to have originated from a mistranslated first contact report from nearly 50 years ago. A human explorer mentioned that water was essential to human survival, but the translation software rendered it as destructive to human tissue." Maya shook her head in disbelief. 50 years of building diplomatic relationships and they all think we'll melt if we touch water. It gets worse. Dr. Hawk continued manipulating the holographic display to show various alien physiologies. Look at this. The crystalline hierarchs are silicon-based and would indeed be damaged by water. The methanoids breathe liquid methane and view H2O as a corrosive acid. The plasma entities exist in pure energy states and can't comprehend solid matter at all. From their perspectives, water truly is dangerous. But they never bothered to verify this information about humans. Apparently, they assumed all carbon-based life forms shared similar vulnerabilities. The irony is that humans are approximately 60% water by body weight. We're practically walking water balloons compared to most other known species. Maya began pacing the small laboratory, her mind working through the implications. So we have multiple species who are genuinely afraid of water, and they've projected that fear onto us without understanding our actual biology. Precisely. And now, with the conference beginning tomorrow, we're facing a situation where humanity might be excluded from the most important diplomatic gathering in galactic history because of a translation error and xenobiological assumptions. Not if I have anything to say about it, Maya declared. Doctor, I need you to prepare a comprehensive analysis of human-water interaction, cellular-level organ function, everything. And I need you to have it ready for broadcast to the entire conference. Dr. Hawk paused in her work, studying Maya's determined expression. Captain, what exactly are you planning? I'm planning to drink a glass of water in front of every delegation at tomorrow's opening ceremony. The silence that followed was broken only by the gentle hum of the ship's environmental systems. Dr. Hawk stared at Maya as if she had just announced her intention to juggle antimatter. Captain, you do realize that if something goes wrong, if there's any adverse reaction, it could destroy human credibility for generations. And if I don't do this, humanity gets relegated to second-class status in the galactic community, because everyone thinks we're made of tissue paper, Maya replied. Doctor, how confident are you in human physiology? Completely confident. But Maya, the psychological impact on the other species could be severe. Some of them might interpret your action as suicidal. Then we'll have to make sure they understand exactly what they're seeing, Maya said. Prepare your presentation, Doctor. Tomorrow we're going to give them a biology lesson they'll never forget. The next morning, Aurora Station's Grand Assembly Hall buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from 43 different species had gathered for the opening ceremony of the Galactic Cooperation Conference. The hall itself was a marvel of engineering, with environmental controls that could accommodate the diverse atmospheric and gravitational needs of its occupants. Maya stood in the preparation chamber adjacent to the main hall, wearing her dress uniform and carrying a small transparent container filled with what looked like ordinary water. It was, in fact, the purest H2O that human science could produce, molecularly perfect and completely safe for human consumption. Through the chamber's viewing window, she could see the assembled delegates. The Silvark contingent sat in their specially designed pressure suits, their crystalline forms glowing with an inner light that pulsed in rhythm with their agitation. The Tavarian delegation occupied a section with reduced lighting, their obsidian bodies nearly invisible in the shadows. The aquatic cetaceans floated in specialized tanks, while the energy beings flickered and danced in containment fields designed to give them physical form. Captain Trent, came a voice from the communication system. You're cleared for presentation in 30 seconds. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of humanity's future in the galaxy resting on her shoulders. She thought about the countless generations of humans who had fought against ignorance and prejudice, who had stood up for truth, even when it was dangerous to do so. Today, she would continue that tradition. Ladies, gentlemen, and distinguished beings of all classifications. Maya's voice carried clearly through the hall's translation systems as she stepped onto the central platform. I am Captain Maya Trent of the Earth Alliance, and I stand before you today to address a critical misunderstanding that threatens to undermine the very foundation of this conference. A ripple of unease passed through the assembled delegates. Several Silvark representatives began what appeared to be an agitated discussion, their crystalline forms flashing with rapid bursts of light. "It has come to my attention," Maya continued, "that many of you believe humans to be a fragile species susceptible to dissolution upon contact with dihydrogen monoxide, commonly known as water. I am here to demonstrate that this belief is not only false, but represents a fundamental misunderstanding of human biology." The hall erupted in a cacophony of sounds as delegates began urgent consultations with their advisors. The universal translator struggled to keep up with the multiple conversations happening simultaneously. "Captain Trent." Ambassador Cortal's voice cut through the noise. "Surely you do not intend to expose yourself to a potentially lethal substance for the sake of a demonstration." "Ambassador," Maya replied, holding up the container of water so that all could see it clearly, "what I intend to do is show you the truth about human physiology. This substance you fear is not only harmless to humans, it is essential to our survival. In fact, the human body is approximately 60% water by composition." A collective gasp arose from the assembled delegates. Several species that had never made such sounds before found their translation devices struggling to convey their shock. "That's impossible," came a synthesized voice from the Silvark delegation. "No carbon-based life form could survive with such a high concentration of universal solvent in their cellular structure." Maya smiled, understanding that she had reached the crucial moment. "With respect to the Silvark delegation, your assumption is based on your own biological limitations. What is destructive to your silicon-based physiology is not destructive to carbon-based human physiology." She raised the container to her lips. The hall fell into complete silence. Maya could hear her own heartbeat, could feel the eyes and optical sensors and energy fields of dozens of alien species focused on her every movement. She thought of Dr. Hawk's words about confidence in human physiology, about the decades of scientific research that had mapped every aspect of human biology. Then she drank. The water was cool and refreshing, exactly as she had expected. Maya swallowed, then took another sip and then another. She could feel the familiar sensation of hydration, the slight relief that came from addressing thirst she hadn't even realized she was experiencing. The reaction from the assembled delegates was immediate and dramatic. Several Silvark representatives collapsed into what appeared to be crystalline seizures. The energy beings' containment fields flickered wildly as they struggled to process what they had witnessed. Even the usually composed Tavarians began rapid discussions among themselves. "As you can see," Maya said, her voice carrying clearly through the chaos, "I remain not only alive but completely unharmed. This is because water is not a threat to human biology. It is in fact essential to our survival." "Impossible," the lead Silvark delegate managed to communicate through rapid light pulses. "We have observed this human consume universal solvent. By all known laws of chemistry and biology, tissue dissolution should have begun immediately." Dr. Hawk's voice suddenly filled the hall as her prepared presentation began broadcasting to every delegate's personal viewing device. "Distinguished delegates, what you have witnessed is not impossible, but rather a demonstration of the remarkable diversity of biological adaptation in our galaxy." The holographic displays throughout the hall lit up with detailed schematics of human cellular structure, showing how water molecules integrated with proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids to create the complex biochemical processes that sustained human life. Human beings evolved on a planet where liquid water covers approximately 71% of the surface. Dr. Hawk's recorded voice continued. "Our entire biological system is not only adapted to water, but dependent upon it. Every human cell requires water to function. Every biochemical process in the human body relies on water as a medium for chemical reactions." Maya watched as understanding began to dawn across the diverse assembly. The Tavarian delegation was particularly quick to grasp the implications, their optical sensors focusing intently on the biological data being presented. Furthermore, Dr. Hawk's presentation continued. Humans regularly consume between 2 and 3 liters of water daily. We submerge our bodies in water for hygiene and recreation. We have used water for transportation, energy generation, and countless other applications throughout our species' development. The Silvark delegation was now engaged in what appeared to be an intense debate, their crystalline forms flashing in rapid, complex patterns. Finally, their leader managed to stabilize enough to address Maya directly. "Human Captain," the Silvark delegate said, "if what you demonstrate is true, then your species possesses capabilities that we had not imagined. The ability to not only survive contact with universal solvent, but to thrive in its presence suggests biological resilience of unprecedented magnitude." Maya felt a surge of pride not just for herself, but for all of humanity. "Delegate, I appreciate your acknowledgement, but I want to be clear that this is not about human superiority. This is about the importance of understanding, rather than assuming. Every species in this hall has adapted to different environments and developed unique capabilities. The diversity of our biologies is not a weakness to be feared, but a strength to be celebrated." Ambassador Cortal stepped forward, his obsidian form, catching the hall's lighting in dramatic patterns. "Captain Trent, the Tavarian delegation wishes to formally apologize for our role in perpetuating misinformation about human biology. We also wish to propose that humanity be designated as the galactic community's primary consultants on H2O-related sciences and technologies." The suggestion caused another wave of discussion throughout the hall. Maya realized that what had begun as a crisis for human diplomatic standing was rapidly transforming into an opportunity for unprecedented cooperation. "The Aquatic Cetacean Alliance supports this proposal," bubbled the whale-like delegate from the fluid-filled tank. "We have long sought partners who understand the complexities of water-based environments. Humanity's expertise could prove invaluable for exploration and colonization of ocean worlds." Even the energy beings seemed to flicker in what their translators indicated was approval. "The Energy Collective acknowledges human resilience," their representative communicated. "Adaptation to universal solvent suggests capability for survival in diverse environments. Cooperation potential significant." Maya felt the tension in the hall transforming into excitement. What had seemed like an insurmountable barrier to human participation in galactic affairs was becoming the foundation for unprecedented partnerships. "If I may," Maya said, raising her voice to address the entire assembly, "I would like to propose that we use this moment as a learning experience for all of our species. Rather than allowing fear and misunderstanding to divide us, let us commit to sharing accurate information about our biologies, our capabilities, and our needs." She paused, looking out at the incredible diversity of life forms gathered in the hall. Every species here has survived and thrived in environments that would be hostile to others. The crystalline hierarchs have mastered silicon-based chemistry that carbon-based life forms cannot replicate. The methanoids exist in atmospheric conditions that would be instantly fatal to most other species. The energy beings have transcended physical matter entirely. The assembled delegates began to murmur their agreement, and Maya could sense a shift in the hall's atmosphere. Fear was being replaced by curiosity, suspicion by admiration. "What we have here," Maya continued, "is not a collection of potential threats to one another, but a gathering of specialists, each with unique knowledge and capabilities that could benefit all of our civilizations." The lead Silvark delegate flickered in what Maya had learned to interpret as thoughtfulness. "Human Captain, your words carry wisdom. The Silvark Confederation formally withdraws its objections to human participation in this conference. Furthermore, we wish to propose a cultural and scientific exchange program to better understand the biological diversity represented in this hall." The proposal was met with enthusiastic support from nearly every delegation. Even those species that had initially been most fearful of humans were now expressing interest in learning more about human biology and capabilities. The Tavarian delegation seconds this proposal, Ambassador Cortal announced. We also suggest that Captain Trent be appointed as the liaison coordinator for the biological exchange program. Maya felt a mixture of honor and overwhelming responsibility. In the span of a single morning, she had gone from facing potential exclusion from galactic society to being offered a central role in fostering interspecies understanding. I am honored by your confidence, Maya replied, but I want to emphasize that successful cooperation will require input from all of our species. Human expertise with water-based biology is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Captain Raj of the FXian delegation, a species Maya had worked with extensively during her time on Aurora Station, stood to address the assembly. The FXian coalition has observed Captain Trent's diplomatic work for several years. We can attest to her commitment to fair and honest communication. The FXians support her appointment as program coordinator. The formal vote was unanimous. As Maya stood before the assembled delegates, she reflected on the strange path that had led to this moment. A simple misunderstanding about human biology had nearly derailed humanity's place in the galactic community, but had instead become the catalyst for the most comprehensive interspecies cooperation program in galactic history. Distinguished delegates, Maya said, I accept this appointment with the understanding that our goal is not just to share information, but to build genuine understanding between our species. We will create detailed biological databases, establish safe interaction protocols, and develop joint research programs that can benefit all of our civilizations. Dr. Hawk joined Maya on the platform, carrying several more containers of water and additional scientific equipment. If the assembly is willing, I would like to conduct a more comprehensive demonstration of human hydration biology. This might help establish baseline understanding for our future cooperation efforts. The demonstration that followed was nothing short of revolutionary. Dr. Hawk explained human cellular hydration at the molecular level, showed how humans could regulate their internal water balance, and even demonstrated the human ability to purify and consume water from a variety of sources. The alien delegates watched in fascination as Maya and Dr. Hawk showed how humans could not only drink water safely, but could actually improve its purity through biological processes. They demonstrated human saliva's natural antimicrobial properties, the kidney's filtration capabilities, and the liver's detoxification functions. This is remarkable, the aquatic cetacean delegate observed. Human biological water processing capabilities exceed our most optimistic projections. Your species appears to be natural water purification systems. The Silvark delegation, no longer afraid but now deeply curious, began asking detailed questions about human hydration needs in different environmental conditions. They were particularly interested in how humans could adapt their water consumption based on temperature activity level and atmospheric conditions. Your species demonstrates adaptive intelligence in biological water management, the lead Silvark delegate noted. This suggests potential for cooperation in hostile environment exploration, where water resources are limited or contaminated. As the demonstration continued, Maya began to understand the true significance of what was happening. The fear and misunderstanding that had initially threatened to exclude humanity from galactic society had instead revealed human capabilities that were genuinely unique and valuable to the galactic community. Captain Trent. Ambassador Cortal approached as the formal demonstration concluded. The Tavarian delegation has been discussing the implications of today's revelations. We believe humanity's water-based biology may be the key to several ongoing galactic challenges. What kind of challenges, Ambassador? There are 17 known worlds in our territory that are rich in resources but covered primarily by liquid water. Most species cannot access these resources safely. Additionally, there are numerous space-based water ice deposits that could serve as fuel and life support resources if properly harvested and processed. Maya felt her excitement growing as she realized the potential implications. You're suggesting that humanity could serve as specialists for water world exploration and resource extraction. Indeed. But more than that, we believe human expertise could be crucial for establishing permanent settlements on ocean worlds, developing water-based transportation and industrial systems, and even creating new forms of aquaculture that could help feed the growing galactic population. Dr. Hawk joined the conversation, her scientific mind already racing with possibilities. The biological diversity of Earth's oceans could provide templates for ecosystem development on other water worlds. Human experience with marine biology, underwater construction, and aquatic resource management could be invaluable. The conversation was interrupted by an announcement from the conference organizers. The opening ceremony was officially concluded, and delegates were invited to participate in individual species presentations throughout the rest of the day. Maya found herself surrounded by representatives from dozens of species, all eager to learn more about human biology and capabilities. The methanoids were particularly interested in how humans could survive in such a wide range of temperatures while maintaining proper hydration. The energy beings wanted to understand how physical matter could maintain complex chemical processes in a water-based system. Captain, the lead, Silvark delegate approached. The Confederation would like to formally request a series of joint research sessions to better understand human environmental adaptation capabilities. We believe our crystalline computational abilities, combined with human biological resilience, could lead to breakthrough discoveries in hostile environment exploration. Maya looked around at the bustling hall, where conversations between species that had never directly communicated before were now taking place throughout the vast space. The fear and suspicion that had dominated the morning had been replaced by curiosity and excitement about future cooperation. Delegate, I would be honored to participate in joint research with the Silvark Confederation. I believe we can learn a great deal from each other. As the day progressed, Maya participated in dozens of smaller meetings and presentations. Each conversation revealed new possibilities for human contribution to galactic civilization. The Agricultural Collective wanted to explore human knowledge of irrigation and crop hydration. The Mining Consortium was interested in human techniques for underwater resource extraction. The Explorers Guild sought human expertise for investigating water-bearing worlds. By the end of the first day, humanity had gone from potential exclusion to being one of the most sought-after partners in the galactic community. The transformation was so dramatic that Maya could hardly believe it was real. That evening, Maya stood once again at the observation deck of Aurora Station, watching the same dance of starships she had observed that morning. But now, everything felt different. The ships below weren't just carrying trade goods and diplomatic messages. They were carrying the hope of unprecedented cooperation between species that had never understood each other before. Dr. Hawk joined her at the observation window, carrying 2 containers of water. She handed one to Maya with a smile. To the strangest diplomatic breakthrough in galactic history, Dr. Hawk said, raising her container in a toast. Maya laughed, raising her own container. To proving that sometimes the things that make us different are exactly what make us valuable. They drank their water while watching the stars, and Maya reflected on the lessons of the day. The fear of difference had nearly divided the galactic community, but understanding and acceptance of that difference had created opportunities none of them had imagined. In the weeks that followed, the Galactic Cooperation Conference would establish new trade agreements, scientific partnerships, and cultural exchanges that would benefit all member species for generations. But Maya knew that the real victory had happened in those first few moments when she had taken a simple drink of water and shown the galaxy that what seemed like weakness could actually be strength. Humanity's designation as the galactic community's water specialists opened doors to exploration opportunities, resource development projects, and scientific collaborations that would shape the future of interstellar civilization. But more importantly, the conference had established a new principle of interspecies relations that understanding, rather than assumption, would guide future cooperation. Maya's action had become a symbol throughout the galaxy of courage, in the face of misunderstanding of the power of truth, to overcome fear, and of the incredible potential that existed when diverse species chose cooperation over conflict. The story of the human who drank water in front of the galaxy would be told for generations, not just as a tale of human resilience, but as an example of how the courage to be authentic could transform an entire civilization. Years later, as Maya served as the director of the Galactic Biological Cooperation Initiative, she would often think back to that morning when she had stood before an assembly of frightened aliens, with nothing but a glass of water and the determination to show them the truth. It had been, she realized, the most important drink of water in human history.